Xerophytes are plants which live in habitat which lack adequate water in their soil or soil is physiologically dry. Based on the nature of soil and availability of water, xerophytes are classified into two types. The first are the physical xerophytes. These plants grow in soil which are physically dry. Physical dryness of soil may be due to low rainfall or poor water holding capacity and high temperature in the area. Examples of the plants which grow are the casuarina and opensia. Then the second are the physiological xerophytes. These plants grow in soil having abundant water, but the water contains high concentration of salts. Due to this, the plant cannot utilize this water very efficiently. Plants growing in such soils are called physiological xerophytes. Example are halophytes or mangrove plants like Rhizophora and Avicennia. Based on morphology, physiology, and life cycle, the xerophytes are classified broadly into three types. The first are the ephemerals, the second are the succulents, and third are the non-succulents. So, first the ephemerals. These are short-living xerophytes with a brief lifespan. They complete their life cycle in 6 to 8 weeks of favorable season. During the unfavorable season, these plants disappear, leaving their seeds. As these plants do not know what dryness is, these plants are called drought evaders or drought escapers. The examples are the Solanum xanthocarpum and the Tribulus. The second are the succulents. They are also called as fleshy xerophytes. These xerophytes absorb large quantity of water during rainy season and store this water in different parts of their body. Such water storing organ become fleshy or succulent. Storage of water is an important precautionary measure for this plant. This stored water is very economically used during droughts period. Succulents suffer dryness only externally, hence these are called as the drought avoiding xerophytes. These succulents, based on the plant part where the water is stored and the water is become the thick like mucilage. So depending upon the part of the plant where this water is stored, the succulents are of three types. First are the stem succulents. So they store the water in their stem. Example opensia. The second are the leaf succulents. They store water in their leaf. Example are aloe, agave, bryophyllum, begonia. The third type of succulents are the root succulents. They store water in their roots. Example asparagus and Ciba parviflora. The third type of xerophytes are the non-succulents. As the name indicates, they are the true xerophytes which can withstand or tolerate prolonged drought conditions. These plants are neither ephemerals nor succulents, hence they are called perennial non-succulents. These plants undergo a number of morphological and physiological modifications. Non-succulents suffer dryness both externally and internally. Hence, they are called the drought resistant xerophytes. The examples are the Nerium, the Casuarina, and the Calotropis. Now, we will discuss about the ecological adaptations of these plants. So first are the morphological characters. First, the root. The root system is extensively developed. It may be many times longer than the shoot system. The roots are branched and they spread over wide areas. The root cap and root hairs are also very well developed, and some plants they store the water in their roots as in the ceiba. Next, the stem. Stems are usually stunted, that is, they are dwarf, woody, and hard. Some of the stems are also underground, whereas in Opensia, the stem stores water and become succulent. So the stem is fleshy, green, leafy-like, which is called as phylloid or cladoid, and which is covered with spines. In Euphorbia and in some plants, the stem are covered with hair or waxy coatings. Coming to the leaves are reduced, small, scale-like, appearing only for a brief period and sometimes modified into spines. The lamin spines. So the leaves are reduced like scale in the casuarina and asparagus. So in these plants, the leaves are modified into scale-like. Then the leaves are modified into spines in Opensia. In some plant like Pinus, the leaves are long, narrow, needle-like. In Acacia, the lamina is divided into narrow leaflets. And in aloe and agave, the leaf becomes thick, fleshy, and succulent as the leaf stores the water in this plant. The leaf surface is coated with wax in Calotropis, and leaf surface of many of these xerophytes are shiny, glazed, and they also reflect the light to minimize the rate of transpiration. In Amnophila, the leaves become folded and rolled in such a manner that the shrunken stomata become hidden, and thus the rate of transpiration is considerably minimized in Amnophila. In some plants such as Euphorbia and Ziziphus, the stipules become modified into spines. So here you can see in Ziziphus the stipules are modified into spines. Now we will discuss about the anatomical characters. The roots usually show extensive development of xylem and phloem. The cortex is wide, especially in storage roots like asparagus, where its cells become large and are filled with water. In Calotropis, the root possess rigid and thickened walls. Then coming to stem, in succulent fleshy xerophyte, stem possesses a water storage region. In stem of most of the non-succulent xerophytes such as Casuarina, the following characters are found. The cuticle is very thick. The epidermis is well developed with heavily thickened cell walls. Hypodermis is several layered and sclerenchymatous. The stomata are shrunken. Vascular tissues are well developed, differentiated into xylem and phloem, and heavily lignified. Mechanical tissues are also well developed in the stem of these non-succulent xerophytes. Coming to the anatomical characters of leaf. In succulent leaves of some xerophyte, such as peperomia, epidermal cells of leaf serve as water storage organs. So you can see here the epidermis stores the water in this peperomia. Similarly, in succulent leaves of aloe have prominent water storage region in their mesophyll. Moreover, in such leaves, the cuticle is thick and outer walls of the epidermal cells are heavily deposited with cutin and cellulose. The leaves of non-succulent xerophytes show the following characteristics. They have a well-developed cuticle. The epidermis is several layered, that is, they have the multiple epidermis. As we can see in the nerium, the epidermis is multiple epidermis, several layered, and whereas coming to the pinus, the epidermis is several layered, it is sclerenchymatous and has the sclerenchymatous hypodermis. The mesophyll is well differentiated into palisade and spongy parenchyma. Stomata are sunken, confined only to lower epidermis. In some xerophyte, such as nerium, the stomata are lined with the hairs. As you can see here, the stomata are lined by the hairs in the nerium. The vascular tissues are well developed, differentiated into xylem and phloem, and the mechanical tissues are also well developed in the leaves of the xerophytes.